The following video discusses what I think is the appropriate worldview for understanding stories. Stories written, stories spoken, in conversation, films, even theatre performances when you get on stage and act it out with lights and music and all that sort of stuff. Conventionally, stories are viewed not from this worldview that I'm about to tell you. Stories are viewed from a worldview that acknowledges a world outside of ourselves. And we talk about stories from the perspective of an audience watching, reading, hearing a story being told to us. But this is a very difficult perspective to have when understanding what stories are, because that's not where stories come from. The emergence of stories is internal, and we have to understand stories from this internal place. Here's you. There's the audience disappearing. Here's your mind. And everything, all of the stories that you tell come from here, your mind. And there is no hypothetical places other than the place you're in right now. And here you are at the center of it. And everything else, all of the other hypothetical places that are out there that you're not in, aren't out there. They're in here. Including everything that you tell a story about. Everything from the past, everything from the future, and all of the fictional worlds that you tell stories about are inside here, your mind. And from this worldview, your mind isn't even a place inside of you. It's just another place. What is this worldview? This worldview is called phenomenalism. And from phenomenalism emerged phenomenology, the study of phenomena. Phenomenalism is misunderstood. It is misunderstood because it gets confused with idealism. I believe it's idealism that disregards the third-person, mind-independent perspective. Phenomenalism does acknowledge everything that is outside of us. There is a real world outside of us that is outside of our direct access and experience. It's just that we can't ever see it. And this is the perspective that I'm arguing is not only a different perspective, but is the necessary perspective to understand what stories are. And I don't think you can understand what stories are from the third world view, as though there's other people out there witnessing our stories from a third person. You can't understand stories as though you're a person listening to someone else's story, because you can't analyze it and chop it up, because that's not where stories emerge from. You can't analyze the structure of the stories that other people tell you, because, as I've said, stories come from in here. And so to understand stories, you have to understand how you experience the world from this now moment that you're in, this forever existing now moment, and how the stories that you tell are within this place. They come from this place that you access in your now moment, and then you tell it. You bring it out of this place and into this place. So let me go into it. That was an intro, believe it or not. Here's the worldview we usually have. We're looking out, and this is the real world, and this is our field, of attention. Sound, we've got feeling, we've got sight. But let's just say we've got all these ways of experiencing things. Let's just say, here's the real world. It always seems to be in front of us. Okay, so this is where the real world is. It's the intense place. And this is you, which is the now moment. Now, we also have this place here. And this is the dense, ethereal place. Why is it dense and ethereal? Well, this is what you call your mind or imagination. And this is a place that you can be in as well. When you're in this place, it's very hard to be in this place. It's almost like when you're in it, you get pushed out. You get pushed back into this world because it's just too hard to be in there. But you can be in there. Now, we have this worldview that is different. We don't treat our mind as a real place. We treat our mind as a place we go back to access other places in the real world. Places like the past or the future. And that we're sort of going into our mind to imagine it. And through imagining it, we can access these real world places. And not only just the past and the future, but other places like the park or school. Just anywhere that you're not currently now. But this is wrong, because these places here, these places aren't in the real world. So where are they? These places are only in your mind, and you can access them wherever you want. So what do you deem as the past? What do you deem as the future? You can be in these places now. This is the now moment. You can be in the park now. If you're not currently in the park in the real world, you can be in the park now, but you're not in the real world park. You're in your mind. You can be in an alien world now. You can be in the past, you can be in the future. You can be in a memory, which is the past. So you get the point. This worldview isn't treating your mind as a way to remember these other world places, because they don't exist. There's only the now moment. And any other place that you're not in now is not some hypothetical real world place, because you're not there and you can't ever be there unless that place is moved into the now. If it's not in the now, then you can't access that place. Those now moments in this worldview are only in here, in your mind. And this is so important to understand, because this is where stories really are. This is where stories come from. All stories. Stories, when you tell your friends about what happened during the day, you go to this place, the past. You don't go to this place, which was the real world. And you don't go to it through your mind. No. You go to it here, in your mind. When you tell a story and write it as a book, obviously it's fiction, so you do go to this place, the park or the alien world, and you go to these places now, and then you report on it in a book. Or maybe you make a film out of it. Or maybe you get on stage and perform it. Or maybe even just tell it in conversation as a cool story that you came up with. Now, this worldview is so important to understand where stories are and where they come from. What if you were to tell a story that isn't from this place, from your mind? Because you're thinking, well, any story I tell someone about the past or the future, or any fictional story, it's all coming from this place in your mind. So what if a story came from this place, the real world? Well, you can only tell one story that comes from this place, the now place in the real world. And that is a story about the now. You're basically just narrating what is happening now. Let me tell you a story, not from my mind, but from the now moment in the real world. So currently I'm telling a story. I'm sat on my desk and I'm looking at my screen, and now I'm speaking about looking at my screen, and now I'm standing up, and then I sat down because I didn't want to stand up again. And that is about as close as you can get to telling a story about the now moment in the real world. And everything else, the past, the future, and all fiction, come from this place in your mind. That is so important to understand, because that opens up a whole new understanding of what stories are, really. And it opens up a whole new understanding of where stories come from and how stories emerge.